Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games and welcome back to part 19 of my USA campaign here in Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order. So I've been asking around, looking around for answers in regards to the economy and trying to get some actual liquid reserves, and it seems that most people just don't even care about liquid reserves, so nobody seems to know how to get them. So I guess not very many people actually end up coming down this path with the road toward justice, because then they would know that you need liquid reserves, so you can do things like this. So I don't know if I cut out in the middle of this episode and then come back. It's probably because maybe somebody's getting back to me, because not everybody who I've asked has gotten back to me yet. But in the meantime, we're just going to forge ahead, and there doesn't seem to be anything that says we can't do more than one of these things at the same time. So I don't know. We're gonna. There's always something or other to spend the political power on. We're gonna we're gonna figure it out. So we're probably gonna get to the election today. The Senate election, that is. I think it's probably a little bit... Let's see. The National Progressives are working together well. I'm just not sure how much use there is in, like, trying to get the unity going. It kind of looks like overall things are leaning towards an RD victory, which is no bueno. No bueno at all. Even though I've been trying to have the NPP passively work, so that way I wouldn't have to do it myself. But I guess it's probably still stronger if you do it yourself. You just have to actually pay attention. Let's try to, I guess, increase the unity of our party. Try to get a strong midterm election. That's probably going to help us do some other things. Italy joined the Crow's prosperity sphere. Yeah, that is absolutely tremendous for Japan, and not great for us. Construction cost modifier go up, consumer good factories go down. I am building a lot of things though. We're gonna increase the construction budget. That's probably really dumb. I'm so sorry. Wait, did I not do it? Oh, I could just crank it up all the way, baby. Huh, if I wanted to. Yeah, just like that, we're already using up all of our construction. Okay, so I guess let's do the infrastructure on these islands as well. Let's do everything. Everything will be maxed out all the time. This is Eisenhower's legacy. I'll finish what you started. If anybody remembers those Force Awakens original trailers. Remember when people thought the sequel trilogies were going to be good? Of Star Wars. I've always been a believer that... by the way, I'm just kind of chatting because we're killing time until we get to this underlying problem thing. I've always definitely been a believer that the weakest part of the Star Wars franchise are the movies, and I'm including the original trilogy. That's right, I'll say it, even though obviously you don't have the franchise without the original trilogy. I think most people I think would say that a lot of the spin-off Star Wars material is better than the movies. You've got the books and the video games and the TV shows and things like that. Heck, so the other day, somebody reminded me of something that happened in the Old Republic trailers, the Star Wars Old Republic cinematic trailers, and so then I went back and I watched them all, and I think all of them combined are about 20 minutes long. And it's they're better than the sequel trilogies, which I didn't even finish. After I saw Last Jedi, I haven't seen a single Star Wars movie since. Probably won't ever again. Maybe unless there's in a new creative direction, somebody new's running it. I never know what to frickin' research because I just don't care. Battleships, submarines, armaments, torpedoes, mine warfare. Done all the plane stuff. I just don't know. I don't know, and I barely care. I guess we could do not a doctorate of some kind. Whatever, frickin' Kentaikessen. I don't know. Global fleet thing. Sorry, my hand's feeling low. I kind of fell asleep on my arm last night, but I've also got a... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I had to pop a knuckle in my hand. I think you guys just might have heard that. Okay. Let's keep going. Polls are updated. Hmm. Road toward justice. Maybe I should work with some of these people. This will unify the party a bit more. I'll be seen as less liberal, though. And screw the far right. Talk with hardline supporters. It just takes 12 days. Okay, I don't care about working with Goldwater or Wallace. Campaign for Civil Rights just says we grow more divided. I'm not sure what the benefit is to that, though. Oh, this is a very short one, just 7 days. Oh, you know what? Let's get rid of that black market stuff. Yeah. So this is going to help stability of political power, Partisanship 101. Brown versus Board of Education was a landmark court case which marked the country's first ever step towards true equality for a century. By ruling that segregation in public schools is inherently void of constitutionality, the Supreme Court had shattered the old viney cobblestone walls which dot towns and cities nationwide, barring the black students from mingling with their white schoolmates. No matter how tenuous at the moment, colored children now have better legs with which to lift them and theirs out of father's poverty, thanks to this ruling. Our cause needs as many Brown versus Board as it can afford. For that great case alone has advanced the African Americans' law by leaps and bounds. The president's advisors have concluded that we can afford the hit to public opinion, a large share of it doubtless from those who would see the administration's forthcoming actions as tyrannical. Forthcoming actions. Let's see here. Talk with hardline support. I'll do some of this stuff after. I want to see what stamping out the flames of hate entails. Oh, who watches The Watchmen? So this was that other thing. This was after Underlying Problem. By the way, did anybody like the new HBO series of Who Watches The Watchmen? I sure did. I didn't really see people talking about it online, though, so I think it might have flown under the radar, which is weird considering it's such a big franchise, I guess, for lack of a better term. President Kennedy lay in bed staring at the ceiling as his wife lay beside him. He was thinking about cages. It was Harry Truman, he recalled, who once called the White House the finest prison in the world. He wasn't far from the truth. Millions of people live behind bars. Everyday prisoners are beaten and abused. This is what we call justice, called the president. He had to do something. Tomorrow he'd begin working on a bill to reform America's prison and in their cruel, discriminatory, and unjust practices. Hang in there, fellas, he thought as he drifted off to sleep. It won't be this way for much longer. Who watches The Watchmen? I do. And then we're going to get Sheathing the Sword of Damocles, which he feels hangs over his head right now. Chat with Goldwater. Why would I do this at all? Because it's going to unify the Republican Democrats. I guess if... I don't know. President Kennedy tapped furiously at his typewriter, stopping only to sip from the glass of scotch at his side, the ice having long ago melted. Kennedy vigorously poured his thoughts into the page in a stream of consciousness, knowing that the interns who wrote his speeches would clean it up later. It was as fiery and passionate as all of his speeches had been lately, filled with rhetoric and calls to action. But he paused to have a belt of scotch. He wondered if perhaps he could stand to rein it in a bit, throw the right-wingers a bone. They were party brothers, after all, and he couldn't control Congress without them. Despite the progressive dominance, big names like Eastman, Thurman, and Wallace still drew voters to the party like moths to a flame, or a zapper. Frowning, Kennedy debated with himself it would be wise to make a speech reassuring the right-wingers. Obviously, he couldn't give them any real concessions, but perhaps it was a good idea to change his language, scale back the bombast, assure them his plan for civil rights wouldn't be as extreme as they feared. Sipping, Kennedy leaned back in his chair, furrowing his brow as his brain dragged him one way and his heart another. You know what? The heart wants what it wants. So either way, there's a 50% chance that nothing will even happen. I could throw them a bone if it's harmless, but screw them! In fact, you know what? Where's the far right strong? I'm gonna help out the Republican Democrats to beat them. Okay, on the East Coast, the polls are leaning towards an MPP victory, but in West Virginia specifically, there's a far-right incumbent. Same thing in the Deep South. The Deep South is the real problem. We're gonna... we're going to campaign for the Republican Democrats in the Deep South. Just kick them out. Kick the far right out. That's how we'll do it. Sheathing the sword of Damocles, the time's come to draft our prison reform bill to end the horrific injustice faced every day by America's convicts. Serving a sentence doesn't disqualify a man from having the same basic rights and protections guaranteed to every American. And it's about time that moves from the realm of ideals to reality. Let's see. So it's just what scale of reforms do we want to do? We can go all in, toe the middle line, water it down. Either way, the event seems to be the same. It says, don't rain on my parade. Oh, we're going all in, baby. In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's see what this KKK thing is. So it says, stamp out the flames of hate, gets event those who burn crosses. Yeah. You know how it is. Present laws of free speech always protect those whose very nature assumes that free speech is a sham. One may find hate mongers standing atop their soapboxes and radio towers questioning why their victims should enjoy the very rights they are using to browbeat them into submission. This is a farce that has gone on for far too long. Either these malcontents stick to the spirit of free speech rather than abuse its words to their fullest extent, or they shall find themselves bereft of any speech at all. Oh, I thought this was going to be something where we like directly engage with the KKK. But it's more like... okay. So law and order. See, there will be no compromises. Oh, so this is probably going to lead to an event regarding the KKK. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. Right, we're going to go to this research slot. Okay, looks like we're just about done with the Air Force stuff. Navy doctrine we're working on. I just don't know. I guess I could work on my artillery. What even artillery am I using? The N59 howitzer. Okay, so that's the one I have to improve. So that's on the left here. Okay. Alright. Don't rain on my parade. Once again, the abominable, like the Grinch, Arizona Senator Barry Goldwater has come along to try and ruin all our hard work. Despite our prison reform bill having support from all the power blocks in Congress, including the Democrats, Goldwater has made a public show of his opposition to it. It seems like he'll protest any legislation we put forward, no matter what it is. He's trotting out the usual arguments of states' rights, calling us undemocratic for imposing new law and order standards federally, rather than leaving it up to the states. As one experienced in politics, Goldwater is clearly trying to position himself as a tough law and order politician to the public, most likely a preamble to a presidential run in '68. Goldwater as president. There's a sobering thought. Thankfully, for the time being at least, he's powerless to prevent the cause of justice, and our bill sailed through Congress, making our prison reforms law. Thousands of unjustly treated convicts will now experience a greater quality of life and have access to the same rights as every other American. No thanks to Goldwater. Deal with it, Barry. Break it down. So this is going to change our penal laws. This is because right now we have capital punishment, which is... Okay, so I guess because we went all the way in on the reform, we're going to swoop down here to rehabilitation. This is actually going to help our research speed. It's going to help our monthly population growth. We're not going to get free repair anymore, but because we're not using basically the slave labor. But yeah, there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to each. And I guess like this would have been the light reform. This would have been the medium reform. Get event fly over fury of the Midwest states. NPP is running a good campaign. Okay, do we want to keep dumping money into these guys? Let's see. They got some motorized divisions going on. They are definitely weaker than the Ural Military District, but they're going to have to fight the demand mandates of Serbia and Chita first, who are currently divided, which that might help them. Yeah, let's go ahead and help them. Let's send them A military shipment. Oh my gosh, I haven't been spending my expertise on getting things. Didn't we already get the... Oh shoot, what did I just do? What did I just click? Ah, okay, hold on. We're gonna go to autosave. I have no... Okay, we're back. Yeah, it's because I just, I clicked the thing and I have no idea what happened. So, okay, we were gonna do research and development. Let me pause and do that. Looks like we already have the belly buster. We need like 50 expertise or something. I haven't even been doing a lot of this stuff. Cigarette cameras, hollow coins, pigeon cameras. There we go. Let's recruit a new operative, and we're going to actually send a full-blown war shipment this time to them. To the Commonwealth of Siberia. Okay. So we were doing that. We were coming over here. We were going to improve the artillery. Don't rain on my parade. Deal with it, Barry. NPP runs a good campaign. Then what? There was something else that popped up before Wales. There we go. Okay. Oh, this was just about the Senate elections. Okay. Wales wants to buy weapons. Well, like, whatever. It's money, right? So if we sell them the weapons, if we do that, do we now have liquid reserves? Because we just did that. No. Flyover Fury. Let's see. The Midwest is best described as a flat, empty land where people are born, buried alive, and spend their lives doing little but whittling their lives away as the corn grows and the rain of years erodes the hills. They're almost fanatically proud of the wholesome Americana of their unchanged pastoral lives. They have souls of clay ready to be molded by the next charismatic stranger with a suitcase in his hand and a smile on his face. It's what makes them politically dangerous. It appears things are swinging in Goldwater's favor there. He has managed to stoke the reliably gullible Midwesterners into a fury. Protests have been held against our reforms in almost every major city in the region. Midwest can come back to our side soon, or we may have ourselves trouble in 68. It just says deal with it, Barry, again. So we're going to lose some popularity and stability. Damnation. Let's see, okay, we still have that dang American malaise, which is hurting us. But, I just realized, because we were able to kind of shift it some more, so aren't we going to get a modifier over here? Yeah, so if we can get down to the greatest generation, it'll get replaced by something called a ray of hope. So, that won't completely fix it, but it'll help. Can we get better artillery? No, it's way down there. Okay. Guess we could have done like self-propelled stuff if we wanted, but we didn't. We didn't want it. I don't know. This... I don't think any of this stuff has changed. The forces of the right and injustice in America currently see the president as a danger. The people of America currently see the president as the champion of social justice. I probably could afford to ease their fears slightly. Okay, so that's done. We're going to say there will be no compromises. Let's see what the next event is, though. Okay, if it's not popping up, let's read this in the meantime. Oh, there we go. Aid for Switzerland. Overseas freedom dies. Ooh. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get there in time to help, but we could send help. There are many Americans still exhausted from the debacle in Africa. I feel like any guns I send are just going to end up in the hands of the Germans. So we could just send them guns, or we could do the buy Jingo one, and it looks like that's actually going to spawn 3 divisions instantly for them. So if that's the case, let's do that. Yeah, loud is the battle cry of freedom, so maybe that'll help them. Polls have been updated. Senate election results are in. Okay, let's see what the Senate looks like these days. Senate is controlled by the Republican Democratic Party. Okay, so their lead grew a little bit, but what I think is much more important here is the center NPP, which is us, is up to now 40 Senate seats. And the far-right NPP are down to just 5, so it's probably just the ones that never go away. There's like Strom Thurmond, okay. Barry Goldwater's not actually in the NPP. Or did he switch parties? Okay, let's see. Ohio still has staggers. Dang, I wish there was a way to like subdivide. Look who it was. Okay, Alabama still has a far-right guy. Oh, George H.W. Bush is one of the senators in Texas right now. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it looks like they're on their heels. We've almost cleansed the party of these Dixiecrats. Who needs them? We don't need to unite with shit. We have a weird pseudo-alliance with the Republicans right now. I definitely want to do a Wallace campaign, and I also want to do a freaking LBJ one as well. See how like strong I can make the RD. Like, can I just make the NPP just totally irrelevant? Those who burn crosses. They wear no badges, no armbands. By day they go without masks. On weekend nights they get together, the tradesmen, the teachers, the shopkeepers, and they doff the white robes and pointed hoods and meet on the hill above town. They drag forward the man with the wrong skin color who was seen talking to the wrong girl, and they hang him high. He watches those faceless specters through tear-washed eyes as his lungs gasp and his throat collapses. He is left swinging in the light of the morning. They are the Ku Klux Klan, ghosts of a regime that died 100 years ago. Stubbornly refusing to give up the archaic beliefs of their forebears, the KKK infests the southern states like a plague of termites in a rotten house, burrowing into state governments and institutions to spread their influence. Once they have taken hold, they pump their filth into the minds and hearts of Southerners, ever growing like a tumor. It is time that something be done about these mass cowards. We need to break their influence and take back the South, but it won't be easy. And if we don't do this with finesse, we'll likely spark civil dissent across the South and have to endure political strife in Washington if it looks like we're targeting the Klan because they have different beliefs to us. We could try drafting a bill to ban them outright, or we could try going under the table. Either way, they won't take it lying down. Yep, the KKK, and it ain't just the South either, although, actually, this is probably not a great example. I was going to say that, even El Paso, the KKK used to be a big part of the city government. And yes, we're inside Texas, but culturally, we're quite different. Like, you have to drive 800 miles to get to any other really relevant Texas city. El Paso is really an entity unto its own. Is anyone else hearing that? Like a bump, bump, bump. Is that me? Hold on. I'm going to make sure something's not wrong with my computer. I'll be right back. Okay, we're fine, everybody. My computer's not going to explode. So, anyway. But yeah, there was a point, like, in the early 20th century, the KKK had millions of members across the United States. Anyway, we're going to try the back channels, how to kill a Klansman. Oh, goodness gracious. Wow. You know what? We're gonna try to do a bill to straight up ban them, but I'm gonna make a little save file here to find out what happens when you try to kill them. Okay, we're back. So we're gonna ban them. I imagine that's gonna create some arguing in the frickin' Senate. Writing a bill's easy, passing it is tough. We'll have to draft this perfectly and go over every word to make sure there's as little to excite them as possible. We can't facilitate forever. The time has come to get down to brass tacks, keeping in mind that the First Amendment guarantees freedom of speech and association. Do we want to rip out the loopholes and ban the Klan outright, or try and drive them underground instead and save ourselves a flaying in Congress? Decapitate the Hydra. But isn't the point of decapitating the Hydra that... Anyway. So political power will go up, we're going to get noise of thunder, we're going to lose stability. Social democracy is actually going to go down, and authoritarian democracy will go up. So it's going to create a reactionary moment in the far right. But it's post-Senate, they can't come back in. It's post the elections, they're not going to be able to come back in for like 2 years. What is this? A Day for Tears. Walt Disney just died of lung cancer. Let us pay laughter for every tear shed. Guess he won't be running in 68. So then there will be no compromises. Clemency is the watchword. Savvy and careful, flawlessly shifting between assuring President Kennedy that they most assuredly condone his actions and urging for a more moderate approach in handling the rot. More often than not, within the same breath, they clad themselves in propriety and restraint of law and order and fairness, constructing themselves from the swift and righteous justice which they see only as crude and un-American. Our ban on the KKK has been a pure, unmitigated disaster. Not only has it failed to stop their now illegal activities, it has turned out to be completely unenforceable as Southern police, most likely Klan members themselves, refuse to break up Klan meetings and arrest known leaders. Klan affiliates have been screaming themselves hoarse on every radio station that broadcasts south of the Mason-Dixon. Free speech rallies have been held in several major Southern cities, and as the cherry on top of the sundae, we're getting whipped every which way in Washington by the Democrats and the rightists in our own party. Even the Republicans aren't too keen on it. To make matters worse, if that's possible, the Klan is planning a huge rally atop Stone Mountain in Georgia, where they're going to burn a gigantic wooden cross that will be visible all over Atlanta. We have no choice but to send in the army to watch over the gathering and keep the peace, but even that will leave law and order teetering on a knife's edge. If this goes wrong, the South could go up like a pile of dry wood struck by lightning. We can only hope this doesn't turn ugly. When their backs are against the wall, men who burn the symbol of their worship are liable to burn anything. I smell smoke on the wind. Well, we're going to say no compromises. The Stone Mountain Massacre. Well, shit. It's still unclear who shot first. Yeah, isn't it always? Before the cross had even been lit, tensions were high above the top Stone Mountain. Turnout was several times what we expected, and our troops were massively outnumbered by Klan members, both masked and boldly unmasked, many armed. A single sudden shot was all it took to light the powder keg, and Stone Mountain erupted into sudden and horrific violence as our troops opened fire on the crowd and the Klansmen followed suit. By the time the shooting stopped and the smoke had cleared, 25 bodies lay beneath the smoldering cross on the mountaintop, 4 soldiers and 21 civilians, all suspected Klansmen. Their wives and daughters weep on television screens all over America. The South is ready to explode. The rest of the country isn't much better. People are in an uproar over what they see as the government murdering people who were protesting against their breaking the First Amendment. Radio demagogues asked whom the Yankee hit squads will go after next. Needless to say, this is bad for us. Goldwater Thurman and their allies are screaming red-faced in Congress, and there's not a newspaper or news program in the nation on our side right now. Even many of our staunchest political allies are distancing themselves from us. Right now, the country is in shock, and all we can hope is that it fades quickly. But sitting alone in his unlit office thinking of his murdered brother, the president has a bad feeling that the Stone Mountain Massacre, as they're calling it, will stain his legacy like nicotine. Tears flow like the Mississippi. Oh, we're going to lose 150 political power. Authoritarians are going to get stronger. The conservatives are going to get stronger. Basically, we're just going to lose popularity and stability. Damn, that did not go good, did it? I don't think we're going to be able to do this law and order thing. Or no, it's still going to go through because I guess the law did technically pass. Okay, there will be no compromises. Mending wounds without cleaning them will only invite disease and decay. Our moderates have shown to be obstacles and impediments hindering good doctors' pace. President Kennedy believes an ultimatum will suffice in bringing these mutineers to heel or allowing them to exit their posts with grace. Are we going to start asking people to resign? What's going on here? Here's another watching the Watchmen thing. Okay, decisions that are available. I think it might be time to soon. The death of hope. What is this? Grief and horror struck the American people today upon hearing that President Robert Kennedy and Vice President Hubert Humphrey were both gunned down. No! Further details are forthcoming, but the shooter appears to be Kurt Saxon, a militant member of the American Nazi Party with ties to the John Birch Society, the Minutemen, and the Church of Scientology. They shot the hump, too! As the pair exited the hotel, the survivalist terrorist opened fire from his car with a homemade machine gun. He was swiftly apprehended. In a shocking turn of events, the Speaker of the House declined the office of presidency. The line of succession then fell on J. Strom Thurmond, President pro tempore of the Senate. He is presently en route to the White House in a guarded motorcade in order to be sworn in as our next president. Updates to follow. With Thurmond in charge, many are mourning not only the death of two beloved leaders, but of their progressive vision as well. Mr. Thurmond is a vocal opponent of civil rights and is considered one of the most extreme figures in the NPP's far-right wing. It remains to be seen what impact his administration will have on this country, but the grief of the African American community and their allies is particularly heartfelt in the wake of this atrocity. We will provide more news as the story develops. The Kennedy curse has struck once more. It looks like Bobby Kennedy's unraveling is finally done. So Robert, we're going to get rid of Humphrey. Kennedy's going to retire. Strom Thurmond becomes leader of the Authoritarian Democratic Party. So that's the NPP-FR, who only are at 10% popularity. We almost had gotten rid of them completely. I'm sure in '68 we could have turned them into nothing. Oh man. What else is going to happen? Public elections will not be held. What? Okay, there probably will be elections in '68. That can't be right. They're not like Yawkey or something. Change in popularity of the Authoritarian Democrats are going to get 2.5%. We're going to lose 15% stability. Political power is going to go down by 200, so that'll put us in the negatives there. Luckily, we have a lot of stability to fall back on. American society will get more divided. It's going to change our national focus tree. We're also going to get the event, the inauguration of Strom Thurmond. Well, time to say goodbye to Bobby Kennedy, guys. And it looks like we're going to have to update the thumbnail in the next episode. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games, and we're going to have to see what the heck's going to happen now, because I can't imagine any character within the mainstream of American politics that we could have swung from one side to the other more than going from Bobby Kennedy to Strom Thurmond. Rest in peace, Hump. Rest in peace. So I will see you next time.